Hello, hello. Welcome to Celestial Waters. My name is Demi. We're going to hop right into it. So, because it's spider season, I wanted to tune in and get some messages from Spirit in why are a lot of the collective scared of spiders? Like, what is it? So they said it's going to be a few different things. So for some people, it's literally just on the physical level to do with the human being. So it could be that they literally find spiders like ugly and disgusting to the point that it evokes like an I'm just getting but it's like you want to be sick as well. So maybe it literally turns your stomach, and it's literally to do with how they look. Because I'm hearing someone be like, yeah, but why have they got so many legs though? And it's like you're looking at a spider with such disgust. Like it just makes you like kind of shiver and want to get out of your body. That's coming through firstly, and that's to do with the human level. It's literally how it looks and how it crawls and how it moves. It just makes you feel sick. For other people, it's programmed, it's taught. So when you're a child, for example, let's say if you saw a parent or like an auntie or an uncle who was around you, and they saw a spider and they screamed and they ran out of the room, you were like would have been taught to do the same thing. That'll be for some people, because some people will have parents who are afraid of spiders, but then the children don't grow up to be like have that fear, right? But for some people, it is programmed. It's something you remember. Maybe it spooked you and you got scared more when you saw the parents' reaction. So that was coming through as well. But then Spirit were also asking me to research the shaman's perspective of a spider and what the spider means, like its spiritual meaning. What does it actually mean to a shaman? So let me just read that out for you guys. So it says here, to shamans and many indigenous cultures, spiders symbolize creation, fate, and the interconnected web of life. As they weave intricate webs to capture prey and sustain themselves. They also represent patience, persistence, and the power of transformation, particularly the feminine creative principle, and serve as guides to knowledge, wisdom, and creative potential within oneself. Spiders remind individuals to slow down, listen to their intuition, and pay attention to the intricate details of their own lives and the world around them. I was hearing, don't show me a spider, don't show me a spider. So when I was reading that, it's like an image of like a tarantula right there. And I like tapping into someone, I was like, I don't even want to see it. I don't want to see a picture. So for a lot of you guys, it's literally just seeing a photo of a spider invokes that fear. It doesn't actually have to be around you and you like seeing it in the present. But when it gets to spider season, there was a lot of people who start dreading it, and you could be like looking around you and flinching, thinking the spiders are everywhere. They're saying that this goes deeper. This is more like a spiritual meaning. And there is a lot of people who are afraid of their own power. So what the spider just represents there when it comes to the shaman, where it does connect you to you weaving your own web of destiny, to you being in charge of your life and being that main character, is what it is representing. There's a lot of people who are scared of that. And let's say if you're someone who has a psychic nature, maybe you grew up in a family where you're the generational curse breaker and you're the black sheep, you could have been taught and raised to be afraid of your own power, because they're bringing up a memory in my mind. I would say to my parents like things all the time that would happen before they happen, and they actually did happen. They were like, what the fuck? So they knew from a young age that I was different, that I was psychic. But I'd also see spirits. I would literally see into the veil as if there wasn't a veil. But obviously being a child and not being around parents who had this gift too, they didn't teach me to put these boundaries up. So when I did see spirits, so I had a lot of spirits coming around me as a child, sometimes I would burn up and I would heat up because I didn't know how to protect myself. And so my parents would often think I was just hallucinating. But there was a few times where I was like, no, they're right there. They're the spirit. They're right there. They're right there. There's been a few times where they turned and they looked, and the way their face dropped and it went as white. And you know, when people say you look like you've just seen a ghost, that literally did happen. I was like, I know you see it too. So if I'm hallucinating, you're hallucinating as well. Do you know what I mean? But that memory is coming up. So maybe some of you guys were taught as well to not trust your intuition, to not trust your psychic gifts, and to not trust your power. You weren't raised to be in your power. And in some people, that can evoke a fear of certain like insects, like spiders, that are connected to you owning your power, that are connected to destiny. So let's get a few messages from this deck here for the collective, thanking you. We have here, I can't really show this because she's got her, there's like the bum out, but it's a woman who's risen from the lotus, and look how she's glowing and she's standing in her power, and she's looking out at this beautiful nature in this water. So again, this is connected to people weaving their own web and being in charge of your life. This is actually this scares a lot of people. Not just that, it's the power that is connected to the moon. You see here, she's in front of that huge moon. So the moon, we all know, is connected to women. It's also connected to women's menstrual cycles. And my spiritual court, I've said before, the spiders are connected to the dark side of the moon. So they're connected more to the dark side of a woman or feminine nature. So, you know, women, we have the light and the dark, we have the Eve and we have the Lilith. So a spider would be more connected to the Lilith. And there's a lot of people in this world They're saying the patriarchy teaches women to stay more on the eve, stay more on the submission, and teaches you to be like fearful of the Lilith, or kind of disregard that part of yourself, or repress it and pretend it's not there. This is where a lot of the fear comes from when it comes to not just women but men too, society at large, because society are taught to repress the dark side of a woman. The wild side, they're saying the wild woman, the wolf that exists in every single woman, the lioness that is within every single woman. It's attached to that as well for a lot of people within the collective. They want me to show you again here, particularly up here. You see how the light is shining out of the head, is shining out of the crown. So I do believe it is connected for a lot of people. A fear of your psychic gift and a fear of your own power and a fear of the unknown. It's like spiders are representing the dark side of the moon. So they're representing what is unknown and what we don't often always see. And you know, with a spider, sometimes they'll just pop out from nowhere. And if they're popping out from nowhere, usually they was there the whole time. They was in your room somewhere in a dark corner, in a cupboard that you don't necessarily go into because you know, that there's spiders in there. And if you open it and look, you're going to see one. But this is the thing, they pop out from nowhere. And it's just the way they're moving. And they'll often like move really, really fast, right? And they'll just stop. And this is where a lot of people who try to muster the courage, like, right, I'm going to capture, I'm going to put a glass over it, I'm going to kill it. And you're there like, right, should I do it? Should I do it? And it's just there still. And then when you get closer and closer, it just suddenly moves, and it moves with a flash. Like, this is also what is coming through. So it's something about how they move that also scares a lot of people. We have the sun, yeah, destiny. So it goes deep for a lot of people. It's a fear of your own power. A fear of you honing your own magic and actually creating heaven on earth for yourself. There's a lot of people who are afraid of this, which is why they choose to like turn their head or not believe things that they are seeing. Like for me, I spent years, I would say, when I was like a late teenager and in my early 20s, because I wanted to fit in. This is like around the time I went to uni, and I would pretend that I was an atheist and I wasn't there, like literally seeing spirits and dead people walking around me, but I was. So I went around telling people that I was like an atheist because I wanted to fit in. So maybe some of you guys, you do the same thing. So there is a fear there when it comes to your power. And you see this child is holding, it's like he's holding the universe. He's holding this web that he is weaved. It's coming from his own hands. Because the spider can actually teach us a lot when it comes to what it represents. Some of you may be taught that the spider is more connected to a threat or to, I'm hearing demonic, the word demonic. And that is true for some cultures. They do say that spiders can represent a threat within your life, or you have an anxiety and all these overwhelming feelings. But then if somebody's having a dream about spiders and they're not afraid of spiders, they're going to take that dream in a different way, right? It's going to represent something different to them. Their subconscious is going to be using that spider in a different way. But if you're someone who's having a dream about this massive spider, for example, that's chasing you, and then you're terrified of spiders, you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, oh my God, that was horrible. You could have been waking up in sweats. Like from that nightmare, because your subconscious is using that spider in a different way. So when you are having dreams about spiders, you want to take it from your own subconscious. What does that mean to you? And what feelings were you feeling when you were in that dream when you saw that spider? Because even someone that's terrified of spiders, you can have a dream of a spider. Let's say that spider's like a bright colour. Maybe it's like gold and it's lit up. It almost looks like a spider that's made out of holy light, and you weren't scared of that spider, and maybe it had like a wisdom, a message to bring to you. So when it comes to your dreams, when you're seeing spiders, in that case, you want to be listening to how you were feeling, what you were thinking, and what other signs were in the dreams. I don't like it if I'm having a dream, for example, if there's like a spider that's in my bed within the dream. I take that as some sort of threat within my waking life. We have here this beautiful woman here. Look, she's pregnant. And look, all these beautiful butterflies. This is giving fertility, but you're fertile when it comes to your ideas. So again, it's connected for a lot of people of you being afraid of your own power, of your own ideas. And particularly these ideas that would lead you to your son, that would lead you to like actually making money. It's like someone who kind of gets in their head all the time and imagines like their life being better than it is. Imagine yourself being the main character, but you're scared to put yourself on that stage. You're scared to be in that spotlight. You're scared to be seen. It's connected with another fear with a lot of people, with that fear of being seen. I want to get some messages from this deck here. This is a shaman deck here. Can I just get a few? Thank you. We have Hunter of Gifts. Don't be afraid of your psychic nature and of your gifts. No, they're not demonic. If you know things and see things before they happen, even if it's connected to you, let's say you knew that someone was about to be passing away. And maybe you rebuked it because you were like, oh, that must be attached to the devil. How could the devil know when somebody's about to be passing away, when someone's about to be walking back into God's kingdom? God is in control when it comes to birth, when a child is born. God is in control when it comes to death, when someone's going to be leaving this world and going back to his kingdom. That's not to do with the devil. And your psychic nature, your spiritual gifts, they're not to do with the devil. They are not demonic. Even if you're someone who is pulled onto that path to having that understanding, let's say you're a demonologist. So to have that better understanding of demons and how they work and how they move. Because it could be your purpose to be an exorcist. To pull these demons and this evil from other people and to free them so they can step more into their light. That could be part of your gift. That could be part of your nature. Like when you walk into a room, if there's someone there who has a demon attached to them, that person can't be around you and wants to leave and wants to get out. But again, it's connected to power. It's connected to people being afraid of their power, afraid of their light, afraid of being that main character. For some people anyway. One more card, thank you. We have Shaman of Reflections. They reflect back. Like the uncertainty and the darkness and the unknown. It's like they represent the dark side of the moon, right? So they're reflecting back what human beings cannot see and what we don't know. And they reflect back the darker side again because it was connecting to the Lilith and the darker side of the divine feminine. And I keep seeing Kali Ma, like Kali Ma keeps flashing up, so she's coming through here. And you see here as well, this person is holding a snake. And there's a lot of people who often have a fear of snakes. And again, it's to do with the way they move. It's like they're sliver, they're just gross. So for a lot of people, it's like spiders invoke this like, ugh, like, just get away from me. And maybe you see them as being dirty. But you see them as not holding any light. They're just dark and they're just dirty and you don't want them around you. And it's like they're saying for like some people who literally cannot be in the same room as a spider. Remember, in this world, everything, even spiders and all these insects, these things here, they all have a divine role to play. And they're all being created by the Most High God. Even flies that I call like monitoring spirits. And I see like flies as dirty. They're saying they all have a role to play. But they all represent different things within different cultures. So you want to be researching in different cultures what they represent. And then you kind of put it together and you make the whole. You come to your own belief of what it represents to you. One. How many cards in this deck? One. Why do people have a fear of spiders? We have naked. Do you feel exposed or outed in some way? What is making you feel inadequate, guilty, ashamed, or vulnerable? What do you need to release? So for a lot of people, it's connected to feeling naked and to feeling vulnerable. Because that's what like a fear does. When you're coming face to face to something that you fear, it's like your whole body is kind of trying to work out why you're scared of this thing. You get triggered at a deeper level, even if you're not realizing that. And again, because I'm staring here, you see this. It's kind of like this light that is coming up. So for a lot of people, it scares them because it makes it feel vulnerable. Because it exposes maybe things about yourself that you're trying to hide that is deep, deep down. It exposes your darker side and your darker nature because that's what the spider was reflecting back to you. Remember, it's like acting as a mirror. And maybe some of you guys have been having like a lot of dreams where you're naked and you're in a public place. And there could also be a spider within that dream. Spiders as well. So in the ethers, when it comes to your aura, sometimes you can have like little parasites and these little wormy things that are connected to your aura. They're kind of trying to leech off, they're kind of drain you. They're also trying to like cause holes and energy leaks. Because when there's a hole and there's an energy leak within your aura, this means that the darker forces can get in more. They can get into your mind more, pretend that the thoughts that you are having are yours when they're not actually yours. This is what I call intrusive thoughts. And sometimes like a leech, a parasite-y, insecty thing in the ethers, in the spirit world, we're kind of trying to attack you to do that. They're bringing up their movie The Matrix. So you know The Matrix, and when he wakes up in the real world and he's on that ship, and then there's these things that kind of look like worms that they go and they attack the ship, and they try and get into it. I said sheep for a reason. You know, like the sheeple. So a lot of you guys You are that golden child. You're that generational curse breaker. You are that black sheep. There's like a side message that's coming through here for those of you that are watching this and you're still here to this point. Because a lot of people will click off like within like the first few minutes of a reading. But Spirit, they're showing me that scene from The Matrix, and maybe you've recently been seeing it everywhere. But again, it's like an insect. The kind of way it moves like a snake, it moves like a bug, like that sort of thing. And they also have more tentacles, so again, they could look like a spider, and they try and dig holes and get in. And Spirit is saying that there's also spiders. It's not just these worms and these parasites. There are these spiders who do this in the ethers. So maybe you guys have had this and you've seen it when it comes to your spiritual eye, or your soul knows that there was like this spidery looking thing in the ethers that was trying to get out your aura. And this could have provoked a fear of spiders in the physical, because that's what they most look like. We have... And for other people, it's because, again, that was a message coming through before in the reading, like they just appear out of nowhere. It's almost as if they appear out of thin air. And you're like, where the hell did it come from? Like, where was it? Because it would have been in your room somewhere. You're like, well, how did it just appear? Where did it come from? So that can also be why it provokes fear in people. Because it's as if it's just walked out of the spirit world and just appeared right in front of you. We have here the garden and the gate. So this is obviously very literal. It makes you feel uncomfortable. Makes you feel uncomfortable, and it makes people feel like they're stuck or they're being ushered out of their room. Because again, some people have a fear. Like with me, I used to be really bad. If there was a spider in my room, I couldn't be in the room. If I knew a spider was in a certain room, I wouldn't go in there. But now I've learned to either just kill it myself or like just try and trap it. But some of you guys could have that fear to that point. If there's a spider in your room, you can't be in there. If you know there's a spider in the house, you're uncomfortable and you're constantly looking around like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. The spirit are wanting you to get to the root of that and the bottom of that. Why do you have such a strong fear? Why is the spider kind of like pushing you out of your own house? They're like, it's a spider. Like, what does it represent that's going on within you? And can you face this fear? Maybe some of you guys were like, okay, I need to overcome this now because this is pathetic. Or maybe some of you guys are like pregnant, you're about to have a child, or you have children, and you know they're watching you and they're learning from that behavior, and maybe they're picking up your reaction to it. You're like, shit, I need to pretend like I'm not scared. I need to get over this fear. So maybe some of you guys have been like looking at images of spiders. You could be slowly working your way to like going over and kind of like touching one. Or maybe some of you guys are just like slowly working your way to putting a glass over one because you're that scared that when you get close to it, you're like, oh my god, I can't do it, I can't do it. So you could be trying to overcome that fear. And even though that's a small thing, that actually will push you out of your comfort zone. We have here, woman holding a heart. They're pointing to the butterfly that's on her head, right? I don't know anyone who's afraid of butterflies. There's going to be people in this world who are afraid of butterflies. Human beings have different fears, right? But they're saying, why don't a huge chunk of the collective have a fear of butterflies like they have a fear of spiders? And again, I guess that's connected to like spiders look more ugly. Butterflies are more beautiful, and what they represent like worldwide and culturally is change and transformation, but like big happy changes. So we look at a butterfly and it kind of makes you smile and it fills you up with like hope. They're like, why do you look at a spider? Why does it fill you up with fear and dread? Why are you like, ugh? Like, like what is it? But what is it to you? And if you're having dreams of them again, they're like, try and work out what your subconscious is trying to tell you when it comes to the spider. Is that it, Spirit? Let's get one poem. We're going to close out this message. Thank you. We have here, praise and be praised, shout the heavenly names. As above, so below. As within, so without. Shake the so-called devil out. The lingering voices are not yours. When the heart speaks, it has a cause. The mind knows wrong from right. Cut ties with the entity's lies. Certain thoughts are not your own. Let loose and let it all go. You're more powerful than you think, or have you know. Visualize the holy light, cleansing that which infiltrates. The aura is an energetic gate. You'd be wise to keep it in its golden state. Yeah, this is connected to that message for a lot of you guys, where you've had these kind of bugs that were trying to get access to your aura or try and weaken it. And for a lot of you, it looks like a spider in the spirit, in the ethers. It looks like a spider, like the way it moves. So when you see spiders in the physical and in this earthly realm, you're like, oh, what the fuck is it? It's invoking that, because your soul would have seen it. And if you have psychic gifts, some of you could have even seen it. You could have felt like sometimes there was like a web, or there was something crawling on you that wasn't actually there, not in this human vessel, but it was like crawling on you at a soul level. That's what it is. So maybe for some of you guys, go into meditation. You want to visualize pure, holy, golden light. You want to call in Archangel Michael and ask him to cut any cords, any of these bugs and these leeches have been trying to attach to you when it comes to your aura, and push it out. But you want to visualize this golden, holy light filling any cracks and any holes that may be within your aura. And you want to push it out and mend and fill all of these holes with this golden, holy light. And you want to keep doing this so you actually feel a difference. You feel a shift within you. You feel a lift. You should be feeling that it's fogginess. You may have been having some fogginess or cloudiness around here. You should feel it literally lift. So maybe when you're out and about, you're noticing that things have like a brighter color and you're seeing more clearly when it comes to your physical eyes. It also will help you clear your mind, because again, for a lot of the time, the dark forces and the devil is going to try and come in and attack your mind and plant thoughts there that aren't yours. They're coming from outside of you. But if you've got this fog, you won't realize that. When this fog clears, you're going to realize the thoughts that aren't yours. You're going to be able to more easily just rebuke it and push it away. But that's all the messages coming through. I hope that did resonate with someone out there. If you want a personal reading, my website is celestialwaters.com. But I'll see you in another video.